8th, 2025. I'm going to call this meeting to order. We're going to start with an invocation. Is Pastor Mulberry here? Side. Commissioner Campbell, is he online?
I'm asking.
No, I don't see him. He didn't request the lease. Commissioner Campbell, can you can you do the invocation, please? And Commissioner Davis, the pledge.
Please join me for prayer. Dear Heavenly Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for grace. We thank you for mercy. God, we ask that as we go forth with this meeting, God, that you give us the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding to make sound decisions to move this city forward. God, we ask that you cover every household that is represented, not only in this room, but in the city of Palaca. We pray this prayer and all other prayers in the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Davis, Commissioner Campbell,
Present.
Commissioner Jones,
Here.
Commissioner Borum,
Present.
Mayor Carrera.
Present. Thank you. We have quorum. Has everybody had an opportunity to read the minutes from July 10th, 2025 workshop minutes and July 24th, 2025 regular meeting minutes? Do we have a
Yes.
motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. We're going to go on to public recognition presentations. In the spotlight, Employee of the Month, Ms. Jones.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Once again, we're just at this moment where we get to recognize one employee for performing outstandingly for any given month. So this month, and I also want to make a recognize a sponsor that wants to join us and recognize our employee at Hop Southern Buffet. To award our employee of the month as well with a buffet dinner. So I do want to thank you for that. So our employee of the month of August is Lieutenant Darren Denmark.
Thank you all. Darren Denmark couldn't be here tonight, but his shift is going to accept the award for him. But I just wanted to tell you guys about we got some capital money this year to fix the bathroom. And we found that all the sheetrock, when the building was originally built, they had screwed all through all the water pipes. And we've been dealing that for years, thinking we had roof problems, other stuff. Anyway, from a $25,000 quote, we got it done for 14 because Darren designed it and did all the finish work. And we thought that was amazing and wanted to recognize him and his shift for all the work. So we appreciate your opportunity tonight.
Thank you. Next item is retaining retention wall on River Street.
Project manager is coming up, please.
Good afternoon to everyone. This will be a short presentation. I believe it will be most of a verbal presentation regarding the assessment that Commissioner approved back some months ago to do whatever needs to be done in the retaining wall. So I have the engineer on record that was working on that, Darren Myers from Hanson Engineers. So he will do just a quick presentation on where we are and what's the next steps.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, as you know, the wall was failing. We were tasked to come in and do a redesign for the wall. And the set of plans that you see there are 90% complete. He will have bid plans that are ready to go out to the public tomorrow. So the new wall that we're designing is a segmental block wall. That's the proposed section of it on the right. It'll look very similar to the old wall. It'll just have a little bit of more reinforcement behind it, so we don't have the issue of it tilting towards the sidewalk in the future. There is in that packet a cost estimate towards the very back of it. I don't know who's controlling it. It's okay. Yes,
Keep going. There it is.
keep going.
Yeah, 366,000.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's it right there. So our estimated construction cost, and you'll have to forgive me, I can't read that. 366, $400.
Thank you. Are you coming back up to say something, Colin?
Any further question on this project? I know it was just a presentation, but
I have a question. And this is for the entire, on River Street, the entire, I think there are pieces. This is the entire wall that's leaning.
Yes, ma'am. It
Right,
goes
okay, not-
from, I think 13th all the way up to that 4th resident where the wall stops now. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And it was presented, so that we could also consider, completing it, going forward with it. And at some point, I guess we would need to vote on it,
So
right?
do you want us to provide that direction this evening or take a vote, or what do you want it to do?
Well, you know, when we first encountered the project, it was so desperate and a lot of liability there. We would like, if possible, to receive a vote this evening, if that's possible. I don't know how, but
Can we
It's a
accept this as an
presentation, but
emergency
can we
item?
add it? That's what I was gonna say, it's an emergency item.
Exactly.
I'll make a motion that we accept the River Street wall
Yep, added
as an
the,
emergency,
add the emergency item.
as an emergency item.
Okay, okay.
thank
Yeah.
you.
We have a motion. A motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Go ahead.
So. Did we have an advertisement for various engineering firms to look at that or what?
Mr. Brito, please come, Dominguez, please come up.
we have not advertised that yet. The bid specifications are ready. As he said, the plans are 90%, so next week is going to be advertised in the newspaper and the website and all that stuff for contractors to participate on that.
Right, but you just had an individual who just gave a presentation, I mean, well, he just kind of commented on the work that.
Yes,
supposed to
because
be-
the last time I came in, I explained that we were doing all the design in order to see if if we were doing a new wall, or if we can repair that wall. So he's just coming, as requested by the city,
Okay.
as requested by the city manager to
All right,
present
and
that.
then I just need to understand how all this came about. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go on to public comments for items not
We
specific.
didn't finish
Yeah,
it.
Oh, we
so
didn't.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
accepted it, but there's no official.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead. We need another motion.
I'll make a motion that we move forward with
Go
the,
ahead.
No, we were just in the question portion of it.
no,
It
we
was the-
voted.
Somebody. Hmm? No, it was in the question. That's why I made the comment.
No, we had voted to add it as an emergency item. Now we're going to may have a motion made to approve or not moving forward. Correct. So go ahead.
I will make a motion that we move forward with putting the River Street wall out for bid.
If a motion is second, is there any further discussion?
No,
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Any opposition? Thank you.
Can I make a statement with regards to that wall? I pass by it every day and there's no proper signing identifying that it's a hazard. So I would like to see the city put some kind of signing or at one point there was the ribbon, but there's absolutely nothing now. And there's border walls, there's wood that's actually sticking out into the sidewalk. So definitely want to make sure that it's properly noted that that area is really not safe.
Yes, sir. We will take care of it tomorrow.
On to public comment. This is public comment on items not specifically listed on the agenda. Public comment is for 3 minutes, and we expect you to be respectful and professional about your comments. Mr. Steele, Daniel Steele, please give us your name and city or town of residence for the
Yes,
record.
ma'am. My name is Daniel L. Steele. I live at 202 May Lane, Interlochen, Florida. The reason I'm here on November 15th of 24, I was driving south on 17th Street past Laurel. And I seen a cone alongside the right-hand side of the road. Before I ever got to the cone, the road gave way. My right front tire went in and made a big hole, which I believe there's been copy sent to you and to the attorney here of pictures, and I made a big hole in the road. It went through it. Okay, and I called the city, the public works, they came out. They knew about it. There was a bad underground sewer line there. And they knew about it. That's reason was the other patch was there for. Well, anyway, I needed my truck Monday. I tried to get a front end line in my truck because all the way back to Interlochen, I had to hold down with both hands to hold on that thing on the road. Couldn't get anybody to do their front end alignment, so I ended up going to Bozard Ford in St. Augustine. And at about 45 miles an hour. My truck is getting real bad. It needs to be repaired. Right now, between 53 and 55 miles an hour, the front end is shaking on it. Either I'm gonna get killed or somebody else is gonna get killed because sometimes I have to use my truck. I've got bills in there where I had the front end alignment. I had to buy 2 new front tires. It busted the cords and wore both them tires out going to St. Augustine. One of them hadn't got any tread even on it. And I had T&M up in Interlochen give me an estimate on how much it's gonna get the front end repaired. And they did, but I'd like to have Bozard do it for the simple fact, T&M cannot do the front end alignment on that truck. It's too big, it's 8 foot, it's a dually. So I'd have to go back over there after the parts are put on anyway. So if I go to Bozard Ford, it'll probably cost more, but in the long run, they're gonna be doing the front end alignment of the repairs. So it may not. One item I didn't even put in the bill is one of the bricks, I guess, or the black top or something, scratched one of my, the right front aluminum rim and put a big gouge in it. But, you know, I can live with that. As long as I get my truck fixed, I don't care, but something's gotta be done about it because it's getting real bad shape. I've only got 77,000 miles on that truck. I've taken real good care of it. And it's been my baby years since I retired, so, you know, I need to get it fixed.
Thank you. We don't have an exchange. We don't answer your question. We have a response period after everybody has a public comment opportunity. But we're not going to have a dialogue with you now, just to explain.
Okay, I can't quite hear you. I rather have you.
I'm sorry, I have a hearing loss too, so I get it. This is just an opportunity for public comment. After everybody is finished, then if we have a response, we'll provide it, or we will look for that information in the future and get back to you.
I'd appreciate it, man. This has been going on since last November 15th. And I've sparingly been driving it. And I'm gonna be gone
Okay.
from the 6th to the 16th of September. So if I get in the shop, they could do the repairs on it while I'm gone.
Okay, thank you. We'll get back to you. Mr.
Thank you.
Steele. Thank you. Erin Hughes?
Erin Hughes, East Palaca. So understandably, this topic isn't on the agenda this evening, but I was hoping to get more insight. So I've attended and been engaging in all prior meetings concerned about Blue Crab Festival, and our team has submitted an application. We've kind of been told to hold off for quite some time now, just over a month. So it wasn't until the city post was made about an application time period from September 1st until the end of September. Were we giving any kind of insight? And also there hasn't been any clarity on how that process is going to go. The application is the standard application for all events. There's not really a space to attach a resume or something like that to deem a applicant as a suitable recipient. So I was hoping that we could have some clarity on that matter. And I would also like to bring to your attention that understandably that the city is going to not fund this same event as it has the most recent years. So with that reduction of funding, it's very important to obtain funding elsewhere. And the timeline conflicts with the Tourism Development Council. And so if there's not an application secured before that, they may be ineligible for that funding. And that has also been reduced. So I just hope that you guys keep that in mind, because I mean, we're already behind the time, and our team is preparing for whenever the opportunity does come for us, if selected, to move forward as quickly as possible. So we just hope that you consider all angles of this, so that we can, again, have the city's support, because I find that pivotal in making this success. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Best?
Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Best. I'm a mental health consumer advocate in our county here.
Could you
Again,
please give us your town or city of residence?
I'm from Interlachen, Florida, and I've been here 25 years now, and I'm a mental health consumer advocate for all of us. The services are not here. I grew out of a international clubhouse in New York. It was called the Skylight Center. The biggest one in America is the first one is Fountain House. There's so much growth for mental health. People walk the street, people sit outside, they sleep outside, and then you wonder why they smoke pot and they drink. Please help us. Myself, after all my recovery from that, I got diagnosed this week with lymph node cancer. So I don't know how long I'll be around. I've been doing this like 10 years now, saying the same thing over. We need mental health help here. I was walking through the park by the water here, and I saw two gentlemen. I was just sitting there. You can see something is wrong. When you look at a person, you can see something is wrong. You try and help them. I gave them cards to the mental health facility in Gainesville. I showed them how to get there. If they're on Social Security, if they're not, we can get them a ride there. I'm trying to help as many people as possible. These people aren't on alcohol. They're not on drugs. Their minds, they just don't think properly. And there is a way, there is a system that we have here in our country to do that, to help them, to bring them every day there. We'll come and pick them up if we have to. But everyone looks over it like it's just another thing. God bless us all. You know, mental health is something that you can't control, or you can diagnose it, and you can, with medications, you can control somewhat. But from my outlook, there's so much to be done. And let's start somewhere. Stuart Marchman, I can't go there anymore. Now I'm 69 years old. They said I felt the lady's butt. I'm married. Just to give you an idea of what goes through some of us minds if they don't want you there. And I complain about this. I say this over and over again. There's so many people that need help, but the key to it, they don't know they need the help. And if you're in authority in any of these agencies with that in our county here or our city here, they look at you like they're holding they can help you, but they won't. And please, let's do something about it. I'm sorry I haven't been here for the last 4 or 5 meetings, but
Thank you, Mr. Best.
I'll be at each one of us until we get some kind of resolve.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr. Best. Ms. Duke?
I'm Vicky Duke, Palaca, Florida. I just wanted to talk briefly about the CRA funds. I know you, if you're aware, I'm involved with the Palaca Art League, which is in the Tillman House, which is right now suffering from major damage weather-wise on the outside, and the CRA funds are there to do these repairs. If it had been addressed 3 or 4 years ago, the rotted wood was there then too. The windows were rotting out, but the funds were not approved to be used on that. And now it's twice as bad as what it was, and it's just continuing to get worse. I hope that, and I know this belongs to the city, and this is one of the city's jewels, and it needs to be repaired. And I would like to see that aggressively approached. And I know y'all have put out for bids again, and I hope now that that will be addressed. But with each one of the items, whether we're talking about the Larimer, that was part of the discussion last night for the CRA funds, you have to spend the money on those buildings, because unless you plan on letting them rot down so you can bulldoze them down, because the repairs, if they're not done, it's just more and more expensive. You know that from your own homes. Please address this. There's money in the CRA funds. Use it to improve our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anybody else for general public comments, not items on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll close public comment.
Can we respond?
You may.
Okay, as it relates to Mr. Daniel Steele, I'm gonna ask Public Works to come up. I personally,
down.
may I?
No, I'm just asking Mr. Steele to sit down.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
okay.
okay, he was trying to get up.
All right, so I have personally met with Mr. Steele also. And I've also followed up with FMIT. In a summary, FMIT denied the claim. He did submit it twice, and they denied it twice. And I did meet with Public Works, so you could possibly shed some light.
Yeah, at the time, on 17th and Laurel, we knew that we had a sewage problem. We were coming through, we have a grant for lining our sewer, lines through that whole area. At the time, we knew there was a problem. We did have cones out, but what had happened to his truck as he was driving through is the road gave out underneath as he was coming through. It wasn't something that was actually wide open. It was absolutely out of our control, but it was absolutely out of his control as well. I don't have any information as to why his claim was denied through the league, but it was, and it has since been fixed. We have lined that whole area, and it's been taken care of, but that still doesn't solve this issue.
And additionally, I did have legal to follow up and look at it as well. If you may.
Basically, I just followed up with FMIT to try and get a better understanding of why the claim was denied twice. They said it was a lack of causation. They did not see how the city had liability, and that's why the claim was denied. At this point, it's within your discretion on how you want to proceed with this particular claim.
Go ahead.
I have a question. There was a known problem within that area, correct?
Correct.
There was a cone within that area, correct?
Correct, sir.
So I'm a tad bit confused, and I'm tapping in. I may not be a lawyer, but I've worked in personal injuries, and I've done automobiles. I'm kind of at a loss as to why it would be denied based on, because there was something there to give knowledge that the city knew that something was wrong, if that makes sense.
We were also in the midst of fixing it, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So I'll reserve my comment, but I'm a tad bit confused at how we can escape liability. If we knew that it was a possibility that that area could cave in, a cone would not have sufficed, and there should have been some other barriers put up that would have either one, deterred traffic from coming that way or something, but that's just my personal opinion.
So the part of the problem was off to the side of the road near the manhole. There, we have no way of predicting if there'll be a failure any other length of the course of the pipe. Otherwise, we would have to close all the roads, you know, all the way up to the next manhole, which would encompass 2 more roads. So the typical standard process is that we close off the area that we know the damage is in. We've repaired it from the time we put the cone in within 30 days. So it was as quickly as we can get out there and get approval and get it actually lined and safed up. But the road gave out underneath the weight of his truck. We had no way of absolutely knowing that, unfortunately. We can't predict those.
Commissioner Commissioner Borum, I'm sorry.
I'm of the same opinion as Commissioner Campbell, but I think if we had some failing infrastructure, that's what I heard.
That is correct.
Okay, if we had failing infrastructure below the surface and we were aware of it and it gave way as a result, that's the infrastructure that we own, correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
So I think we should take care of the bill. I mean, that's something that we own that was not repaired, that contributed to
Yes, sir.
so whether FMIT pay for it or not, we can probably circle back around to FMIT. But again, if that was something that the city's infrastructure and it was a known issue and it wasn't repaired at the time, it's kind of like a no-brainer.
Yes, sir.
And I've seen FMIT do claims that were less than what I'm hearing from this gentleman. So that's why I think that further makes it a little bit more complex for me to obtain understanding as to, because I've witnessed in the time that I've been on this board that they've accepted liability and fixed other issues.
Okay. So the claim was filed twice. Is there another remedy appeal process that can happen?
No, at this point, the options for Mr. Steele would be to go ahead and file suit against the city to recover these claims. Or alternatively, the commission could make the decision to go ahead and pay for the damages that he's incurred. You can have me draft a release that says it's particular to these particular factual circumstances so that it's not establishing precedent for other people whose claims have been denied, and that is kind of the concern here. Usually when FMIT denies a claim, we go ahead and follow that advice and continue with that denial. But if we're getting instruction otherwise, I can structure a release that will help alleviate some of that liability.
Do we have a total cost for that claim?
Yes, the total cost is
Really?
$2,783.
Okay. No, go ahead, Commissioner Borum.
I just have one just concern as it relates to that when we're saying setting the precedence. My understanding was that we already knew about the condition of that infrastructure. We were in the process of getting it repaired.
Right.
We put temporary barriers up that didn't cover the entire area. But it gave way prior to the repair. So I can see where, you know, I can't see why it could be denied in terms of taking care of that particular thing if that's our infrastructure. Because it's a similar thing in what we're talking about with Roddy Road right now, right?
Yeah.
Then we
Similar.
mentioned about the Roddy Road project that we shared with the county, and if that structure would fail below with the cover or whatever failed, then the city would be responsible.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the same situation.
All right, thank you.
So we have two
Priyanka.
options presented to us. That your moment is over, Mr. Steele, sorry. We have two options presented to us. Would we like to direction? Go ahead, Commissioner Jennings, I'm sorry.
Could we give further direction to have
the young man speak, back to legal and the city manager, without our input tonight, even though you guys have already given your input, but we don't want to set precedent that we'll have everyone that have a damage to their vehicle coming to us to appeal it, and then we'll have to make these decisions up here. And that's not what we want to do. I think that they go back, maybe they can remedy the problem without this board,
Yes, sir.
this commission, getting involved at that level. That would be my recommendation. And you
Okay.
come back, if it's, you guys have a threshold, you may go to the threshold and come to an agreement with the young man, but I don't want to set a precedent and we come, every week we have people that have damage to their vehicle and they're coming up here for this type of decision. It's my opinion.
Okay, so is that the direction we want to provide?
Do they need to make a motion?
Oh, no, okay,
It's-
well, you
it's
give
within-
direction, you give direction.
It's a pub- it's-
Direction is given.
which-
Yeah.
Then it would be, be an
I
emergency.
got direction from one commissioner, if I can get a little bit more consensus on how you'd like.
That's
me
what
to
I think what I was asking for consensus on which direction we'd like to.
I
move.
just don't see what's gonna be done different if he's already met with them.
Right, we've already met.
He's already met with them.
One at a time, please go ahead, Commissioner Bourne, one at a time.
If we stand a precedent, setting a precedent, this particular situation here, if FMIT has made their own thing. Why, I guess it's here because of public comments.
Yeah,
Correct.
right.
Because you made your comments as an attorney.
Yeah.
So basically, I will have to follow that advice, that's my opinion.
So you're suggesting that the attorney and city manager meet with Mr. Steele again and try to come to some resolution or process.
Because I don't wanna overturn what has already been said of the president from FMIT as well as legal advice.
Is that the consensus of the commission?
That's
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
I agree. So that is what we're recommending. And the city manager will be in touch with you, Mr. Steele. Thank you. Okay.
Mayor, if I may close out with one remark, not pertaining necessarily to the individual, but I would make to Public Works, when we find ourselves in positions of kind of like what we are, maybe a cone does not suffice. Maybe we need to have some kind of proper signage to identify that there may be a hazard in that area, to give citizens the opportunity, if they desire to go another route, because a cone could have been out there for any other given reason and a citizen does not know.
Very good.
But if we can get some kind of, make it a practice to put the proper signing identifying, I think that could save us.
Agreed, and we'll do it.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
And I want to piggyback off of what Commissioner Campbell just said, but if you could do it in a way to where you give them a little bit of buffer space before they actually get to the area, some kind of warning to say, okay,
Yes, sir.
we got, substructure issues ahead, and
Easy
so,
enough.
just give them ample warning.
Yes, sir.
Both.
Will do.
Ms. Blue Crab, do we
Yes, I
wanna
want to,
respond to
we would
that?
also like to respond to Ms. Hughes. Basically, this item is going to be coming up as a part of our city manager and administrative reports for the funding guideline for special events. If it is okay and it's proper, I would like to wait until we explain that then.
No.
So we can go ahead and
And
answer it now?
I'm saying no because the application, what's coming before us with special events is not specifically related to the Blue Crab. It's
In
a
that
whole,
sense, yeah.
it's a whole separate matter.
Okay,
I don't want to sit through another presentation. I want us to get to the bottom of the direction that we gave within our last discussion, which was to turn it back over to the commission, turn it back over to opportunity
Community.
for the citizens to apply. It's my understanding that citizens applied before the city made and I'm operating in transparency because I did speak to Ms. Carty with regards to this. So it kind of seemed as if we are backtracking or backpedaling on what we initially gave as direction. We didn't give direction to have a process of, for lack of better words, it sounds like it's a bidding process, and that's not what we stated. We stated the only thing that we wanted to come back before the commission was the opportunity of how all festivals would be able to be funded, not just the Blue Crab.
Correct. And so, Ms. Sharon Hughes, okay, I would like Mr. Eddie, if you could. We'll do our best to respond.
Eddie Cutright, Community Affairs Director. In the last commission meeting, when y'all brought up the Blue Crab, my understanding was that you were turning the Blue Crab back over to regular special events. At 2 hours and 49 minutes, that's when y'all made that decision to do away with the Blue Crab as a city-sponsored event and make it just a regular special event. The next day, we had the Ms. Hughes organization came in and applied for the Blue Crab. 22 days later, we had another organization come in and apply for the Blue Crab. And then since then, we had the situation that came out. My guidance is, if we're gonna do it as a regular special event, then that organization should be the first one first served to that event. But if we're gonna go with guidelines of this special event here, then we would have to take some more bids in September.
How? That's not my understanding of what the guidelines was supposed to be is how would they be able to be funded?
Right.
This is not specific to the Blue Crab. This is specific to any organization that wants to seek funding from the city. With regards to the Blue Crab, it was explicitly clear that we wanted to allow it to nix it from the city's perspective and make them apply, because even with the mayor, we brought up the other festivals, the Commissioner Davis, we all had extensive conversation with regards to the desire. And I think the conversation went on for about a good 30 to 45 minutes, if not longer. The direction was to give it back to the community, and whomever applies, they would be able to move forward with it. I don't want to go through a process, because if we wanted to go to that process as far as RFP, we should have kept it on our responsibility.
And my guidance is to go with the first come, first serve, which would have been Ms. Hughes' organization, because she came in the day after. And we will vet it once we get approval that we can move forward that way. We talked to Ms. Hughes, we gave her emails, and we put her on hold until we knew what the guidance was going to be from what we heard in the commissioner meeting and what me and Ms. Carter had a conversation about, and what went out on the Facebook page with a message. So we just trying to make sure we get clarity before we move forward with any organization that's going to apply for the Blue
Yeah,
Crab.
and I agree, and I think you can vet that application and should, but I think again, to open it up to everybody after we had made that call, and now people may come out from wherever to apply, is not really fair when other people got theirs in immediately. And it also extends this whole process, which, as Ms. Hughes pointed out, has an impact on with the TDC grants, there'll be some eligibility for that, and also delays the planning and getting the volunteers in place for this event to happen in May. So I think we just need to move it along.
And
Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Commissioner Jones, go ahead.
That's not my understanding. That wasn't my understanding at all. It wasn't a first come, first serve. If that was the case, I mean, how is that a fair process? Tell me how it's a fair process. You may have 50 people that's interested in putting on a festival, such as the Blue Crab Festival. And if that person wasn't here tonight and we made that decision and got the paperwork in the next day, they're out of the loop, period. First come, first serve. And that's what you guys are saying. So, and tell me how. We said we're getting out of the business of Blue Crab. That's fine. And we said we're gonna get some capable people that can do it. Special interest groups, you guys mentioned a lot of groups that were capable or have done it in the past. What about those groups? This is not the only group, and I don't care who it is, to be honest with you. I said it before, but I would like for it to be a fair process. This doesn't pass the smell test to me. I'm just saying.
Go
Mayor,
ahead, Commissioner Campbell.
I specifically stated that if we are going to transition from out of this, that we have our hands in it, and I was shot down almost immediately at that meeting. I even suggested that we have a community meeting. Am I correct? To see who the individuals would be, I was shut down immediately at that meeting.
Just tell me this. How is it, tell me how is it a fair process? That's just like me. Well, I don't use that example. Again, what I just said. First application, got it. Regardless of the credentials or what have you, a person can say, I want to do the Blue Crab Festival, and this is what we're gonna do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of it, Memorial Day weekend, and they got it. That's what you're saying. That's exactly what you say. First come, first served. Am I right about that? Just tell me, am I wrong?
You're correct about the first come, first served, but when you finish, I want to give you the special event process.
Right, so if it's a process, I mean, a selection process, or it's just, once you get that application, now you tell them what they need to pay, how much they would get from the city to help with it. That's your process.
Yes.
Other than that, there is no.
We have no selection process of who would get the bid, other than who comes in and apply for the bid.
That's
We
the
have
special
nothing in
events
place.
process, and that's how it's always been for
Yeah.
every event.
Besides the
Not
Blue Crab
competitive.
in the past.
Commissioner Davis?
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. But
If we need to refer to the minutes of the meeting or review it, Commissioner Campbell is correct. When we left that meeting, the decision was for the Blue Crab Festival to be treated like any other event and any other festival. When that decision was made, it did put it back into community affairs process. And it's not necessary, well, it is first come, first served. However, I think that terminology is a little misleading. Whoever applies to host an event and it's vetted by that department and it meets whatever criteria there is, a completed application, then it follows the process of Mr. Cutright bringing it to be approved here, and we move forward. If we do anything differently, then we are creating a separate process. So that is a decision that was made, whether everyone understood the consequences of that decision or not. What I recommend, because the city did put the statement out on the Facebook page about the application period, that we just need to place a retraction and say, I'm sorry, we made a mistake.
Right.
That moving forward, as we were determining this new approach and all festivals being treated equally, we made a mistake in posting that or whatever it needs to say. But we cannot continue down the path of not following a standard process that we all decided on, understanding the consequences or not. So.
And yes, and we were also turning it back to that department, as you stated, and we're not here to, again, micromanage it. I'm trusting that Mr. Cutright and the other folks that work in the department can handle it as they've handled every other application for an event. Go ahead, Commissioner Borum. Did you have something to say?
Well, I'm totally, I thought the same thing that, Commissioner Jones, mentioned as it related to, that we're gonna turn it back over to the community, which I think that's what we're doing, but it was gonna be a time period and you advertise that so that others can have an opportunity to apply for the Blue Crab Festival, because most people who knew that the city had took this over for the last 4 or 5 years, and the city had that. Now, I did speak to someone at the Florida League of Cities annual conference, and they put on festivals as well, and they were interested in it as well. So I just basically said that it hasn't. I don't think it was advertised. I thought we were gonna have a period where it was advertised where everybody had an opportunity, but sounding like that is a little bit different now. So.
Go ahead, Commissioner Campbell.
If we would have, and I have to commend staff on this. One thing staff has been doing lately is asking for clarification or clear direction with regards to a decision that has been made. Prime example, if we would have stated that we wanted to follow through with the process, we would have also made the recommendation that staff bring the process back to us for the vetting of whatever the process would be. Being that nothing has come back to us, but what we did request was the funding guidelines. That's what we asked for, and that's what we got. We didn't ask for them to do a process. We gave it back to the community and allowed community affairs. When I first saw the post on Facebook, I immediately called Ms. Carty in hopes of that post being taken down then and not still have it up. So again, I must commend staff, more specifically our attorney, because she very well makes sure that we give clear direction when there is not clear direction given. In this instance, we had a 45-minute conversation and we left that knowing that the community was going to take this back and however it was, because again, I started the conversation off with that if we had this, we want to make sure that it's transferred. We want to make sure that whoever it goes into the hands are very much capable. And once again, I was shut down. So that's how I know we did not have that conversation or we did not give that direction, because I started the conversation off with that recommendation.
And to have a process is very much like issuing an RFP. We're almost suggesting we go through a similar process when that is not what we, again, came to consensus on for that.
Right.
So I am comfortable with community affairs handling this and bringing back the application for final approval.
Not to mention, it was stated in that meeting and at the meeting at the Price Martin Center, the intent of whoever was going to apply, that they were going to apply immediately once they got direction. So it's no surprise to the commission.
And so, given that we've set up that, Mr.
Eddie.
Mr. Cutright, well, he can do it now or wait until it's on the agenda, but he will explain at that time the funding guidelines.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
wait till it's up.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That would be.
Thank you. And then finally, that was pretty much it.
Tillman House.
With the Tillman House, well, Mr. Beth spoke about mental health. And I'm not, I just wanted to say that we possibly have some funds in ARPA. And so that's just something to consider, mental health. I just hear him talking about it.
Public comment. Madam.
It's just me responding and saying possibly we can look at that. And with Ms. Dukes, with CRA funds for the Tillman House, I wanted Ms. Dukes to know that we are very soon going to be putting out an RFP for Tillman House that has an increased amount. And hopefully we should be able to have someone respond. The other thing I'm going to do is ask Public Works to go by and see if there are parts of it that we have the capacity to do. There may be little things that you're identifying. Thank you.
We talked, I gotta say it. We just had the conversation last night about us basically patching up work.
Mhm.
The work that Ms. Duke has come and talked about, we have been talking about for years. Again, I would make the recommendation, as I did last night, that we have a comprehensive, and I went back and found the email that was sent with quotes of what was wrong with all of the city's buildings at that time, which I know have increased due to the time frame. But it also goes back to, we talk about stuff when it's hot and we put it on the back burner when it's not. So I would make the recommendation that we get an extensive, comprehensive assessment of our facilities so that we know what we need to do and not just patch this work up temporarily.
Yes, we have that from last night. Thank you.
Thank you. On to city manager and administrative report, financial report, July 2025, Ms. Pierre.
Can everyone hear me pretty good?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Just to go over a few highlights from our financial reports. The general fund revenues are 14.4 million, and that represents 60% of budgeted amounts for fiscal year 2025. The general fund expenditures year to date are 14.3 million, and that represents 60% of budgeted amounts for 2025. And we have our general fund encumbrances of 1.1 million, and that's excluded from expenditures. Encumbrances are a function of the budget used to track and manage future expenditures by reserving funds for specific commitments before they're actually paid. So the general fund cash and investments are 19.6 million. And the airport revenues year to date are 2.1. I'm actually reading our written, just if you were following along.
Yep.
The airport revenues year to date are 2.1 million, representing 42% of the budgeted amounts. The airport expenses year to date is 1.8 million. That represents 36% of budgeted amounts. We have our ARPA funds, revenues and expenses year to date are 285,000, and that represents 18% of budgeted amounts. We have our Better Place Plan Fund revenues year to date, 3.1 million, and that represents 21% of budgeted amounts. And the Better Place Plan Fund expenditures year to date is 3.2 million, and that represents 21% of budgeted amounts. And our golf course revenues year to date is 110,000, that represents 63% of budgeted amounts. The golf course fund expenses year to date is 157,000, and that represents 91% of budgeted amounts. And our sanitation fund revenues year to date is 3 million, and that's 76% of budgeted amounts. Sanitation fund expenses year to date is 2.6 million, and that represents 65% of budgeted amounts. The utility fund revenues year to date is 10.2 million, and that represents 38% of budgeted amounts. Year-to-date expenses for the utility fund is 10.1 million, and that represents 39% of budgeted amounts. Our tax increment fund year-to-date is 931,000, and that represents 43% of budgeted amounts. Our TIF expenses year-to-date is 313,000, that represents 14% of budgeted amounts. And you'll notice we've included a page per fund at I can't remember which commissioner, but someone requested that. Okay. Yes, there it is. There she is, Right, okay. per fund. Per fund. And we've included what we normally provide, a summary of all of our governmental funds, along with our a summary of all of our enterprise funds. And then we have the detail budget to actuals expense for the year ended July 31st, 2025.
Yeah. Go ahead, questions, Commissioner Davis?
Ms. Pierre.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Pierre, thank you so much. Thank you for the individual pages. Thank you for the summary. Thank you for the row and column headers on the full report. This was very easy for me to follow. I can't speak for anybody else, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay. And we're working on your report, Mr. Commissioner. Forum, yes, we're working on that.
One other key point, which you I thank you for that report. It certainly helps us out a lot when we get that versus the details. But what about our reserves? That's what I'd like to see as well. That's our lifeline.
Okay, yes, we have there's a pie chart included in the packet that lists our reserves. That's page.
This would be for the record.
For the record, okay. Page 8. we have overall, the reserves are 15.5 million, and that's 20% of our fund balance
Of the general.
of the general fund.
Yes, that's,
20, I'm sorry, Palaca Reserve General Fund balance is budgeted at 23.3%, and that exceeds best practice guidance by 6.6%.
that's beautiful. That's what I like to hear, because in
Okay.
2014 and prior, they were like 9 point something%. So
Gotcha.
healthy reserve.
Thank you, Ms.
Yeah.
Pierre.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
City manager report.
Yes, ma'am. So I just wanted to comment quickly on grants management, that we're managing a total of $52 million in grants with 3.5 million for city match funds. So the total is 56 million is currently being managed. 12.6 million have been expended, and all of our grants are in various phases of activation. Reimbursements are being submitted monthly, so we're starting to see a real healthy grants and projects activity. Roddy Road repair, just wanted to bring us up to date. In order to repair, the directional boring team expect to be on site within 10 to 14 days. We're aware that the hurricane season is coming, so we're trying to work very hard. We did get an update recently that the drill crew will be finishing where they are this week, so hopefully next week they'll start coming towards us. They expect to be there about 4 weeks, so we're looking forward to that getting completed. The new iCloud phone system is operative. That used to be something we used to talk about, but now it's there. And so that means the IT team and Inspire can actually start on the other main project dealing with our police department. The operational audit RFP has been posted. We are receiving responses and answering many questions. We're also in the process of the RFP for the financial audit. And we're just looking at that very carefully. Finance department has been in a lot of transition this year. And then we wanted to let you know that we hope very soon with our new public information officer, Ms. Hall. She's very active in setting up congratulations and memorial events. Like, we've completed a lot of work. For instance, over in the north, we finished like almost $1.2 million worth of road repair. And so soon we will be able to take pictures and let the public know some of the wonderful things that are being completed. The parks are being updated, Palm Bow and Hank Bryan and Shaw Park and Booker Park. These are some of the parks. Also, there's one on River Street. So all of the parks are having various forms of upgrade. And we have plaques, and we want opportunity to invite the public. So thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, Ms. Carter?
No, I just want to commend them for the work that they're doing day to day to make our city shine. And
sir.
but like I say, if we can get like a quick sheet, all of these things that are things that we need to share with the public, we can share with the taxpayers and let them know how their tax dollars are working for them.
Yes, sir. We're in the midst of that. It should be done pretty soon.
Thank you. Next, C, funding guideline for special events, Mr. Cutright.
Good evening again.
Good evening.
So this came about through the conversation of last commission meeting when y'all wanted to fund some more of the organizations in the community. Most of these numbers were originated from the money we use when we fund our own events and the guesstimated price that we use to spend on Class A, Class B, Class C events. So this is where that came from.
From working with the allocation of $60,000 that Ms. Carter gave me, we broke it down to 30,000 for Class A, 20,000 for Class B, and 10,000 for Class C. Recommendations of how we would allocate this money, $33,000 to a Class A event for 1 day, with a maximum of 2 days that we would fund. Most of the Class A event go 2 to 3 days, so we want to fund maybe 1 or 2 days of that. Class B's events is usually a 1 day event, and we said we allocated $2,000 of that. And that would give us roughly about 10 events in the Class B, or roughly 8 to 10 events in Class A, and in the Class C, which is to $10,000. We have a bunch of those, so we can probably get 10 of those with $1,000. All these are just recommendations right now. We came up with the best fair practice that we have been dealing with through the community affairs, but we are open to any suggestions that you may want to add. But this was some of the things that myself, Ms. Carty, my special event team, and the city attorney sit down and we kind of discussed and came up with this guideline.
Thank you. Go ahead, Commissioner Barr.
Thank you for that, Mr. Cartwright. But again, I think we need to take also in consideration what Mr. Deputy came in and made a comment as it relates to people coming in from outside of the city, outside of the county, coming in requesting if we're gonna be funding, helping to fund events which we had not previously done before, other than supported the Blue Crab, and then we did not fund any of the other ones, like Azalea and some of the other ones in the past. Everybody was pretty much on their own. And so now we are going in inviting ourselves into something that we really don't have, haven't comprehensively looked at it and vetted properly. So like Mr. Deputy said on yesterday, we need to really look at what we're getting ourselves in. Now, when we did fund the Blue Crab, we had funding coming back. We seeded, that was seeded money that we had, whether it was 150,000, we were getting money back from like the TDC, $45,000, $50,000. That dropped off the last year or so, and we were getting money back from some of the other sponsors who would do that. And we also would used to be involved with shirt sales. So we were getting funding back. So we need to really think about that. So that was money that we were almost kind of balancing out, but now we're going to be dropping about 50, 60,000. So we need to think about that.
Well, to help you with that situation with some of the program, this is all about existing events that we've been having for the last 2 to 3 years. You have to have had an event with the city self-sustained for at least 2 years out of the 3-year period to be eligible for this money. So we only be giving money back to programs that already been doing things like the Sam Deputy Christmas Parade, like the Azalea Festival, like the Data Pepper and the Visit Palaca, but Occupation Palaca. So those events that we've been dealing with in the city, we'll get the money first. Any new events that come here have to be sustained for at least 2 years before they can even apply for this money. Now, to the situation with the Blue Crab about the money, the first year, the organization that they put the Blue Crab on could not apply. The city, we got all the money, sponsorship money. The second year, we moved away from taking some of the sponsorship money from the city and let her apply to get sponsorship. So that's how the CDC, that money started dwindling down. But the sponsorship on the third year, it just went away across the board.
Thank you.
What would it be? What is new Blue Crab?
The new Blue Crab is to be a Class B.
Will they have to wait?
Well,
2 years?
they would have to wait. Because they were not existing. This organization is not existing as the previous organization.
Also, Commissioner Davis was really had planned to speak. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Well, I just want to say, great job. I think this is great. I think it covers all the areas you just explained, and there's eligibility. I think it's very clear. I want to say thank you to Ms. Kitchens, who reminded me to go look at the Muni Code, that we have a special events section. And I did compare it. I don't see any conflict. And I do want to remind us to review that Muni Code because it speaks specifically in Article 8 about special events. Let me see, I'm sorry, Article 3. But I think this is very well done. It's consistent, fair, and I think I know some of the other festival organizers will be very happy that the city will have some consistent vested interest in what they bring to our town. Thank you.
Thank you. And I agree. And honestly, the Christmas parade was a partnership with the city for decades until about 4 years ago or so. And so they didn't pay for any of the permits. The city did cover that. So the city had been helping them. So I think it's only fair we go back and try to distribute it equitably to all groups. So I think it's well done. Thank you.
I think it's well done, but I want to make mention to the comment that Commissioner Jones just made. This whole conversation came up as a result of the Blue Crab Festival. This request came as a result of conversations surrounding the Blue Crab Festival. And now that they don't qualify, even though they are an organization that is just now forming, but the festival itself is not new. So I want the record to reflect that I don't agree with that.
So can I get some clarification, because it's not readily apparent from the policy, if it's applicant based or festival based? If it's
Festival.
event based, then this particular applicant would be eligible. We need to make that clear in the policy. It's not clear right now. If it's festival based, that needs to be clear. If it's applicant based, we need to also clarify that. So a little input from the board would be helpful.
And the intent was to be, it was to be event-based, yeah.
Right.
But the
The
question
intent.
that was just asked was, the question that was asked by Commissioner Jones was with regards to the organization that could possibly be moving forth with Blue Crab, do they qualify? And the answer was no.
Well, but when I look at this, it's, when I read this, it does say if they're a Class A event that they do qualify. And in fact, it's one of the events listed below.
Right.
Yes,
I'm just bringing the attention to
I
the
know.
question that was just asked. and
I
the
know what
answer
you're
that was
saying.
given.
Can we clarify it,
so
please?
to clarify, if we're doing event base, yes, they would qualify. If we're doing applicant base, then they would have to put 2 years in to be eligible to apply
I
for
think that
funding.
helps. That's.
Yeah, and that's guidance that y'all brought. I appreciate that. And I'm okay with making that change into this policy, if that's fine.
Just stating.
Yeah, stated in that.
Clarify, state,
Yes.
yeah.
Clear,
as
but
Yeah.
stated.
Attorney West suggested. Thank you. Any other questions, discussion on this item?
I think we're done. The next item. is-
Right, I'm going to the next item,
Yes,
creating a
ma'am.
safer community.
Okay.
Good evening, Commissioner.
Good evening,
evening.
good evening.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
I have a little bit of a cold, so if you need to speak up, please tell me to do so.
name, please.
My name is Georgia Mitchell. I'm the executive director
know
of
that.
Putnam County Caring Coalition. Oh, that is much better. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
My goodness. My name is Georgia Mitchell. I'm the executive director of the Putnam County Caring Coalition. I live on the north side, so I'm property owner there and part of this community. I'm here today to talk to you about the work that we've been doing with unhoused populations, specifically within the city limits. The leadership team that we have is a group of 3 people, including myself. The first is Cliff Lyda, and he has about 30 years of experience working with unhoused populations, primarily in Chicago. Cynthia Marvin has been an attorney for many years. I think her family's been here for like 6 generations or something, dealing with underprivileged populations as well. So as I come and speak to you, while the organization is young and learning, our experience overall is based in learned experience. So I think that you guys know this, as people, we know this pretty clearly. If you'd like for me today to share some personal stories, both of people who have been floundering and people that we've helped, I'll be more than glad to provide those examples. We can also talk about the causes of homelessness, but I think we know that there are several issues that are mounting, for example, rising housing costs and flat Social Security has created a gap where about 1/3 of our guests are receiving some kind of payment, either through Social Security or SSI, and they cannot afford housing. So they have to choose between food and somewhere to sleep. Like all of us, they choose food in most cases. In addition, we have the problems that all communities have with folks with mental health issues.
We do have some addiction issues. Those are relatively small in our group compared to national averages, however. And one of the things that we were very lucky to have is community support. We've been very lucky. We've received many in-kind donations, monetary donations, to the tune of about $80,000 this year. So for a first-year organization, we believe that shows a great deal of support. So this program benefits the community in several ways. It keeps things safer, right? If regardless of how you may feel about this population, and I know there are a variety of emotions, at the very least, our program, the Temporary Overnight Safe Space, pulls 16 to 20 people who would be sleeping in the street, who may be committing property crimes to stay warm, who may be lighting fires in abandoned buildings, who may be doing things just to meet their basic needs that become property crimes in the city. In addition, we feel like the service we provide can help tourism and businesses. I know that there's quite a controversy about where we're located currently. We'd like to move to. It's not ideal for anyone. Our guests get scrutinized and it makes them feel, it hurts their dignity as well. So we would love to be in a different location. We are where we are because of our fiscal constraints. We provide a number of services, not only the overnight safe space, we provide food if we have it. I'm very proud to say that volunteers have purchased, cooked, and delivered food every night the program's been in existence. And we've never asked them to do that. It's completely out of the scope of what we do, but the community supports this. We've had partnerships with all the medical facilities in the area, all the mental health facilities in the area, a number of churches, as well as larger organizations such as Veterans Affairs and FEMA. I'm sorry about the eye chart. I try not to put these in presentations, but I felt this was relevant. You can see those 4 lines. Before the black line on the left side, it is the incidence of property crimes, 911 calls, emergency room visits, prior to putting a program in place called Housing First. And then, of course, on the right side, you can see the drop in those things that can be directly attributed to a Housing First program. In this case study was a town in Alaska of about 30,000. So a little bit more folks than we have, but a rural community that relied on their tax base in order to fund the program. So what we need in our estimation is a site where folks can stay and feel safe, where we feel like we can provide them with additional day services. Part of our goal is to move people toward give them a ramp toward independence. And we're very glad to say we've provided housing for several folks. Provide integration programs, job training skills, help folks get back on their feet in a meaningful way, and then ongoing assessments so that we can not only put people into housing, but make sure they stay in housing. No surprise, the recidivism rate among unhoused individuals can be high. So this is our overall strategic plan. Basically, we're in a place where we have got to move our temporary overnight safe space program, or we have to suspend the service. The magistrate ruled that we've been violating the code for quite a while, and we admitted we have, of course, and we will have to end our program on September 27th. So it is something I wanted to bring to your attention because, of course, that means that there'll be 16 to 20 guests who will not have a place to stay after that time. So just wanted to bring that to your attention, let you know that our involvement in the problem, while we're still very interested in providing services, that particular service of providing an overnight safe space will end in about 30 days.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Anybody have any specific questions of Ms. Mitchell?
I got a comment. No, I just want to commend you and your team and all of the volunteers for what you're doing. These are some of the things that other cities are doing, but you guys have taken the reign and moved ahead. The city does have funds set aside for homeless projects, so hopefully there's a pathway that we can potentially help in that regard.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you want to offer any more information, Ms. Connie?
Oh, yes, I want to offer more. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you,
Mitchell.
Ms. Mitchell.
I almost want to, if I can take this opportunity to bring us up to speed, like what have we as a city, what we have been doing. So we have not been idle. We've been aware of the problem and, or the situation. We've been looking at our own properties, seeing if there's anything that we can do to help. We have found a location that is city-owned, that is properly zoned. There are additional things though that would have to be done. There's also additional monies that would have to be invested to make any property useful for what Putnam County Caring Coalition is doing. So I just wanted the city commissioners to be aware that we are doing our best, and the guidance, if you were to give us any guidance, would be, do you want us to continue, or, where do we go from here? Just letting you be aware that we are moving forward with making sure that there is a property available, even though we still would have to do more work.
And we would be functioning as the landlord
Only.
for a specific time limited period, correct?
Yes, ma'am. If we were to be of assistance to this situation, it would be for a limited period of time, not to exceed 20 to 24 months. So anywhere between 18 to 24 months.
Would that not be killing two incentives at one time? Based on what we are trying to do or what funding has been set aside with
ARPA funds.
the ARPA funds?
We have ARPA funds available. I looked the other day. It's almost 100,000 that's set aside for assisting with homelessness.
And
So
we can
do
use
have
those funds to refurbish a building. Or the building needs to work regardless of who uses it. So we're talking about the Willard Cooper building on South 13th.
Yes, and we have already, independent of this situation, we had already started upgrading that building simply because, as Commissioner Campbell has mentioned, we are now addressing all of our buildings that have not had care for a while. So that was on the list, and we did improve it, meaning that we did put a new roof on it and went inside and made sure everything was fine. We maintained the grounds, et cetera. So the only thing that would not allow this to be used in that manner is the fire suppression and fire alarm. That's an approximately $130,000. And so we were just basically giving you an update. Also wanted you to be aware of what function Putnam County Caring Coalition has been serving. The situation is primarily, even though it is indeed a county problem, however, we, the city, particularly in the downtown environment, we're feeling the impact of it a lot. So,
Commissioner Jones? No, you can't. I'm sorry, sir.
So, thank you, Ms. Mitchell, for what you do and all you do for our homeless population. I just have some thoughts on where the Willard Cooper Center is located. Willard Cooper Center is used to be part of Hank Bryan Park, which used to be a recreation center. And we just did a lot of improvements in that area to improve traffic for young adults, children to play. We just lit it up, put new bathrooms in down in that area. We have the women's club that's across the street where they have activities, usually in the evening hours, for various organizations there. And it's in a residential area. And it seems like the goal is to move the population from downtown, of course, to a different location, I guess. I can't say a less visible location, but let's just be real. We're putting it in a location where you have storefronts, and the storefronts and the businesses don't want the population. You have residents, playgrounds, where folk are saying, not in my neighborhood as well. The difference is now the city is getting involved, we're getting involved, and we're taking on this task, which I know that the organization went to the county and the county was hands off. So I want to know, why are we going to be hands on? And it's in an area where, again, it concerns me. I have a personal reason as well as why a personal testament of why I feel strongly about homeless population in residential areas. And if we're talking staying overnight, about 20 years ago, I was in law enforcement and I got a call. Chief Shaw, Assistant Chief Newcomb, where we had a shelter a few blocks away from where you're talking about putting this shelter. And there was a homicide. The caring lady that actually devoted her life to helping people, homeless people in our community, was murdered. And, you know, we all have a big heart and we do want to help the population. But I think that we need to put more thought in to what we're doing, because these are not just Palatka people that's displaced and lost their house. These are people that's coming from any and everywhere. And if Palatka get the reputation of, come on, we have somewhere that we can house the homeless people, guess what folk gonna do? They're gonna come here. And we're gonna have a bigger problem. Just awareness. I understand that, and I saw the presentation, but there's a flip side to that presentation. She can't come up. There's a flip side to that presentation, and I just wanted to let everyone be aware of the past experience that we have had. It's not that we haven't tried to help in the past, and what type of liability will we have as we being the city now taking this on? Is it our responsibility to do this? I want this to be ponder the thought for this commission.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who wants to comment about this situation? About the information? No,
Mr. Bass?
no, please, don't do this, please. Go ahead.
To the executive director, are you all,
Come back up, I'm
please,
sorry,
yes.
Ms. Mitchell.
are you all, is your organization a member of the Continuum of Care?
Yes, ma'am,
Yeah,
we are.
okay, great. And did you guys apply for the funding through them as well? And have you received funding?
We did. We applied for 4 grants. One was a building grant for 2 million.
Okay.
We did not get that. We weren't surprised.
Yeah.
Our organization is only a year old. We applied for a challenge grant for operational funds. We did not receive that. Again, we're a first-year organization, but we scored in the high 70s. We're pretty proud of that number. We did receive grant money for housing diversion, which allows us to help people before they become homeless. And we received a grant for outreach, so that we can continue to connect with people who are endangered and hopefully help them before it becomes a bigger problem.
Okay, and thank you. And the reason I was asking, because I'm actually a board member on there now and represent Putnam County. But I just wanted to get that information and I'll talk to you more
Of course.
offline. Thank you.
Since you brought up there, Matt,
Go ahead.
have your organization partnered with the housing authority at all? Because I think some of the same goals you guys have, and they have 2 investment centers on their properties. Being that you guys are being in the same business of trying to find housing, it may not be an overnight solution, but doing a day treatment program I think the collaboration may be possible. So my question to you, have you guys tried to partner with them or have any kind of collaboration with the housing?
We have not developed a permanent partnership, but I'm meeting with Ochi next week. So we've interacted a couple times on a couple of similar smaller projects.
Go ahead, Commissioner Campbell.
Maybe I'm not getting the full understanding and maybe we're bringing two different conversations into this conversation from the dais. But from what I'm understanding from the request, and I want to make sure because on it says our request and then it says types of support needed. So does that fall into the next page where you say the supportive housing solutions, the day services and job services? Are those the requests or the support that is needed?
Those are our three strategic priorities at this time, and we would benefit from your support, of course.
So now coming to, and I wholeheartedly understand the conversation that Commissioner Jones brought up. I'm very familiar with that situation as well. But that was not the only thing that we were taking in consideration with the request that was made, correct?
Correct. The additional request was, after having several meetings, they were interested in possibly moving their activity to one of our city-owned properties.
So,
And I apologize for not being clear. That would fall under day services. My apologies for not explaining that.
no, I'm just trying to shovel through because again, there was the
complicated.
conversation. I want to make sure that it's not lost with, we're talking about one specific thing. And so the Cooper facility came up as a possibility, but that's not the only thing that is being taken in consideration with regards to the request that was made, correct?
I think that is what we're considering only, unless I'm not understanding.
No,
Am I
I'm asking
missing
a
something?
question. Is
Okay.
that the only thing that is being taken in consideration? based
Yes.
On the request that has been brought before us?
That I am completely aware of, yes.
So now I have an understanding of why Commissioner Jones made his statement. That's what I was trying to clarify.
Right, because they are asking would we consider, being a landlord instead of the church,
So prior to the Willie Cooper facility being one of the options, there were additional options that were on the table when we were having the conversation from our end, correct?
I think that we did look at others, but the Willie Cooper stood out because there's the zoning issue.
No, I'm getting to a point. So there were other facilities prior to that facility being taken in consideration for anything dealing with the unhoused population.
Yes, I did drive around and had staff also assist with just looking around the city. And we finally came to what do we have as a city?
So my question is, giving with regard to the request, are there any other opportunities that could be presented in other areas that are not as what's the word?
Residential or?
Residential neighborhood, because outside of the comments that Commissioner Jones stated, you have next to the Willie Cooper Center, you have daycare. And I'm passionate about this because my son attends that daycare. And so taking in consideration what has been going on with the unhoused population, taking in consideration the park, taking in consideration the daycare who has a playground that is connected to the side that is most closest to the Willie Cooper Center. And also, I want to make sure that as we have these conversations that we don't limit ourselves to a specific location and work with the organization to see if there are opportunities that can be presented that would be more feasible for what is trying to happen. I'm in full support, and Commissioner Bourne has been fighting for the unhoused population way before Opera, way before anything has come. So this is not a new conversation to us. We've just really put boots on the ground more so recently. And this also goes back to the cancellation of 2 community events or meetings that was placed or should have happened with regards to the unhoused population that was canceled for whatever reason, that I think is a very important conversation. But again, I don't want us to limit ourselves to the Willie Cooper facility, and really open our minds and see if there are any other areas that could possibly be taken in consideration as well. Because the need is there, but again, we just don't want to throw individuals in a population, a area that is mixed use when you think of it. I mean,
Yeah.
so that's my thought.
Thank you.
Anybody else have additional comment? Commissioner Davis?
So we do know that we need to address the unhoused issue in Palaca. One of my concerns is we are a city in a county with an even bigger unhoused population. And while, you know, we are working really hard to get a solution for our city, I think that will trigger some unintended consequences. At least in my mind. Is the reality? I don't know. And what I mean by that is if they build it, they will come. You know, you hear that. You know, it's already said that other areas bring the unhoused population to Palatka. We hear that over and over. And
1 minute.
apologies. Yes. And so I guess my question is, Ms. Cardy, is there an opportunity or have you had an opportunity to work with the county? So I mentioned I'm on the COC board, and that was at the request of the county. So I don't see a viable solution without involving the county. At the end of the day, we have to have that buy-in. Because again, it's not just a Palatka problem or situation. The people are not the problem. It's the situation. The other thing that concerns me is that as we sit here and try to address some of the desires of our community, we get comments and pushback on all accounts of, well, if we do this, the unhoused population will use it. If we do that, and I think that has definitely hindered some of our projects and moving forward. So it is something we have to address. So in addition to what was said already, I just want us to consider that. I know September 27th is fast approaching and we have to have a solution. One other question. So you mentioned the church. So where are you currently located?
We're currently at 126 South Second Street.
Okay.
Commonly known as the Westminster Building.
Yeah, yes. Okay. And so I heard you mention you have day services. So the population that you are currently serving, can you tell me what that typically looks like? Because I hear you say you have a shelter so they can spend the night, but what happens the next morning?
So you want a description of the day services?
So you provide days. Yeah, what does that look like? Because our experience in this area is we have some unhoused who are sleeping, but it's not a shelter. So they have to just go out and be around during the day, right?
Yeah, and that's correct.
So how are you different? I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
So we run the temporary overnight safe space 7 nights a week, 10 hours a night. 2 days a week, we provide day services, showers. Meridian comes out and speaks with our guests. We have a couple, Grace Marketplace has a case manager that comes out and works with our guests. We provide some career services, those types of things. But it's only 2 days a week. And we would love to transition into being able to provide that consistently.
Thank you.
Thank you. To speak to the issue of, not the issue, but the discussions with the county.
Right.
You're on the COC board because there was not a county commissioner who was willing to be on it, first of all. Let's back up a bit. And secondly, as the chair of this commission, as the mayor, Ms. Carter and I met with the county and
Yes, and their chairperson.
clearly told that they didn't feel they had an issue. I said something to the effect of, oh, Palaca folks are more visible that are unhomed. In the county, yes, they are there. They may be in their car, they may be in a tent in the woods. So, and we have people from the rest of the county staying here, like maybe somebody from Interlochen or wherever.
That's what they said to you, Mayor.
That's basically the response was, I said that to them. When they said, it's not really an issue we have to deal with, they said, well, that's not accurate. I said exactly what I just mentioned or something to that effect.
Thank you.
So.
You were there.
Let me finish and you can. So in essence, we went in and this was specific to the Willow Cooper building, but told them what the costs were and asked if they would help financially and they basically said no.
Okay.
They
Right.
they did not have the will and the commission chair said the commission does not have the will to address this or to provide any
Right.
finance.
Thank
So
you.
just so you know, we tried that.
Right.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms.
Well,
Commissioner Wong.
Again, I just want to thank everybody for their efforts, but I have spoken with DeLand and again, DeLand City and the county of Volusia. They work together well. Also, St. Augustine, St. Johns County, they work together well. Here we are in Putnam County and we say we are family. We want to be one Putnam. But it doesn't appear to be that way, where the city should not have to have the burden for this whole thing. It should be a partnership. This is a good opportunity for us to do such a thing. Now, I just want to throw this out here, and I've said it year over year over year. They put out for a grant to get shelter for animal shelter and for $750,000, almost $1 million. So we want to house animals, but we don't want to house humans. I just have a problem with that.
There's also a lot of not in my backyard going on here too, and
It-
people don't, that's another issue.
And Mayor, I actually had for my comments at the end, a update on the county/city meeting that I've been asking for not months, the years. And I think, and I'm so happy that the mayor brought up the conversation that you had with the county, because it reflects the unfairness or the disadvantage we have as the county seat for Putnam County. And it's not all the commissioners. So I don't want that to be determined, and this has nothing to do with you, so you might want to sit down.
Go sit down. Thank you very much.
But I think that as we travel and we go to these various conferences and we hear of the relationships that the respective cities have with their counties and the determination of, if you go to Hillsburg County, you have Hillsburg County, Pinellas County, and whatever Sarasota is, how they have a quarterly meeting where all of those counties come together and have meetings, because if one of them thrive, they thrive. And here we are in Putnam County and we can't bring our commission and city commission together. It speaks volumes to the disconnect that is there. And I can take it a step further, and I'm becoming passionate about it because it's pissing me off that we can't have a conversation with other elected officials in our community, not just specifically with regards to the homelessness. We need to talk about roads. We need to talk about other services. We need to talk about boundaries. We need to talk about safety. We need to talk about all of these things, and not being able to have a conversation with our other elected officials. It's a shame. And to hear the remarks that was made from the mayor based on a conversation that she had, if you are not willing to serve the people of the community as a whole, of the county as a whole, you need to rethink the position that you are elected for. and I'll stand firm on what I said, and I will not back down on what I said. We want to have a business relationship. We want to have a relationship. We want to be able to sit down and have a conversation where the conversations can be candid, where the conversations can be something that will benefit the citizens as a whole, because when Palaca thrives, all of Putnam County thrives.
That's right.
And stop robbing us of the opportunity to make sure that this city thrives. Because again, if we thrive, the county is gonna thrive. So once again, I'm going to make that request, and I'm making it out in the public. I am demanding that we have some kind of conversation with the county so that we can build this bridge, maintain this bridge. So whenever they need to cross to come to us, we're available, and whenever we need to cross to go to them, they are available.
Yes, sir.
I concur.
And I think with that, we do need to have that meeting. We need to have timelines. We need to have specific things to discuss. We need to accomplish some things as a community. So our community as a whole sees that we can, in fact, work together. We can accomplish things. And we haven't been able to do that thus far. Commissioner Forum, did you have your?
Well, I just gonna concur with Commissioner Campbell, but again, we have had those, even when Mayor Hill was in, former Mayor Hill was here. We talked about different things like the urban service boundary, the MOU with the county to be able to do certain things. We work well together with our police and sheriff, our fire departments work together well, because we have a lot of enclaves in our city. So what we have is, we have people who call for service, and in many cases, your next door neighbor, if you live in the city, could be county and across the street or what have you. So our boundaries are crazy. People tell their whether they're in the city or not, by their garbage cans, for the most part, city of Palaca. So, and we're trying to square those boundaries up so that we don't have inefficiencies in our services. And so that's what we currently have and continue. The same thing with roads, among everything else. So again, we need to go back to the table again. These things have been on the table. We've had multiple meetings, but there doesn't seem to be any consensus between the city and the county with trying to provide the services that our community need.
Commissioner Barmer is absolutely right. We did have those meetings, and nothing came as a result of those meetings. We were actually shut down in those meetings, and we walked out of those meetings on several times.
So we need to have the meetings. The
Yes,
summary
I
of
will.
that.
For the record, I will follow up.
Thank you.
Could I go back to what we were talking about? 1 second.
Yes, sir.
And that's on the Willard Cooper building. I know that there was an ask for $130,000 for the fire suppression system. We need that to house this organization, or period. So if we were just gonna utilize the Willard Cooper building,
Mhm.
we still need that.
No, sir.
Okay, so
Overnight.
we were talking about the Larimar Arts and the need for more money there.
Yes.
So if that's another thought, that $130,000 would be better spent there at Larimar Arts to complete that work. But I just, again, put it out there because we got to hear the people, and that's what we're about. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Moving on to the consent agenda, there has been a request from from applicant for item 7B to pull that item, so 7B to pull. Does anybody else have any items to pull from the consent agenda?
For A and H, just
A and H.
A and H.
I don't necessarily, I want to pull them as a whole to ask a question with regards to the lien reduction request. So if I need to pull them, I don't want to talk to them individually. I want to talk to them as a whole. So I would like to pull items L through S for a question.
Does somebody want to make a motion, or is there anybody, other items? to pull? No?
Okay.
Okay.
I move that we approve the consent agenda with the exceptions of items A, B, H, and L through S.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. On to A, that was one that you chose to close.
Yeah, I just want to have a little quick discussion on that piece of it, just briefly trying to help me understand. I know we need to do some work, but if you would
Mr.
like to.
McCann? So what, do you want Mr. McCann?
No, just kind of give me a high level, because it's 300 and something thousand, right?
Okay, yes, sir. Good evening. So the irrigation system at the golf course was put in, I believe, in 2002. It's 23 years old. It's been repaired numerous times over the years. It's to the point now where it's constantly having issues. I'm sending my operators out there twice a night in the middle of the night just to reset it, to keep the irrigation going at the golf course, which is critical for their functions. Request this money in our capital project. This is a complete rehab. It will replace the pumps, the motors, the skid, everything, the controls, control panel. It puts a filter on the system, which it never had before. Andy's had a lot of issues with the irrigation heads clogging up. So we're putting the filter in to clean the water up even better to prevent some of those issues that he's having experiencing. This gives us total control to put everything in automatic and just and run normally.
Thanks. I just wanted to get a little bit of, put it on the record and understanding what we're getting for that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
The original system had like one VFD that controls 3 pumps. There's a lot of operational errors with that. If one went down, we lost everything. This is but better. It has, more control. So we lose one component, we don't lose the whole system. It'd make it much more sustainable for Andy to put out good quality water for the golf course.
Your VFDs, variable frequency drive?
Yes, sir.
Okay, like kind of.
Sorry.
We just like to kind of, because when we have acronym, kind of like to have a little bit of context around it.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yeah,
but that's all. I
like
mean, I
that.
just wanted to kind of understand.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do you have a motion?
Move to accept consent agenda A.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there anybody here for public comment on this segment?
Question.
Seeing none, close public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. On to.
No, B
Which
was
you
full,
also
please.
told Commissioner Bourne.
No, B.
B was full.
By the
conclusion.
applicant.
Oh, okay.
That's gonna be postponed.
Oh, so you're going to H? Yeah.
Yep, so you're next again.
Get a little bit of context on H, yeah, just a high level context, and then we can just pull up, we just do a roll call vote on that one,
For this one?
on H.
Mr. Bruno Dominguez.
Good evening to everyone. This item is just to approve a work order for hands-on engineer for design services, bid admin, construction administration, and construction observation. This is a CDBG grant that the city had for some years ago about the COVID sidewalks. It's about 5 million grant. Hanson was the one doing the design for the project. So by the grantor, we're required to hire an engineer to do the bid administration, all that stuff. So by our continuing service agreement, I mean, it's a common practice that when the engineer does the design, they're the one doing the bid admin and the construction administration because they know the project. So.
I understand, I'm good.
Was there a conflict?
I get it. Yeah, that's.
Was there a conflict, Commissioner Bourne?
Well, in my opinion, and that's why I put, I believe there is, and that's why I went pull it, and we can just do a roll call vote for it, I mean.
So
Could you tell us?
previously, we requested that if a commissioner pulls a certain item, that we get an understanding of why the item is pulled. The request you pulled, but now you want us to do a roll call vote. If there's anything that needs to be brought to the light and you've already talked about there's a conflict, we would like to be brought to speed as to what that conflict would be.
The speed is some things that I guess the commission already knows, so.
Well, I think
Commissioner
you need to be
Barnes.
more clear
Well,
about that.
we understand and know that one of our former employees worked for Hanson. And so that's the conflict that I have with it.
But that,
But that's why I call for a roll call vote. We can vote on it.
I can provide a little clarification on that particular employee. We have amended our CSA, our continuing services agreement with Hanson, who's been a longstanding CSA with the city of Palaca to specifically exclude the former employee from working on any of the projects that have to do with the city of Palaca. And that's in writing and has been executed by both parties.
I understand that, but that's why we can do it however y'all like. I just want to vote on it.
So,
Mr. Jones.
in addition to that, were there, and you just said it, Mr. Dominguez, that this project actually started when that employee was the project manager. So it already was conflict. Was it or was it not? So not going forward,
At the
was it
time-
already created? And that needed to be clarified.
At the time, he was a city employee and he was not working for Hanson Engineering. And now he is not working on any projects that have to, and this one included, that have to do with the city of Palaca, and we have that in writing.
Yeah, but,
Mr. Dominguez, just ask a direct question.
all right, let them answer.
Oh, I mean, when the design was being done, I was not even working for the city, so
So that means
Was
who was
there
the
is
project,
time-
who was the project manager?
on that time,
Yes.
I don't know, I was not here.
So you look at all the contracts, and you don't know who executed those contracts or who. See, this is what Mr. Bourne, I think, was digging up, but Hanson, there's a relationship already with Hanson and our project manager. So just, well, I guess in 2023, 2022, who's our project
When
manager?
was this started back? in
Somebody should know.
22 or?
I believe it was twenty
When was the
twenty-two.
project started?
I believe
Right.
2022.
Who was the project manager?
Right. But,
I believe March, I don't know.
the thing about it is, this was awarded from CDBG, right?
Yes, I
And,
mean, Hanson, for the
when-
design, Hanson just participated in
Right.
ITB RFP for that project, for the design.
Right.
It was not that we give the
Just,
contract to them.
yeah,
The
So
city.
that was back in 2022.
I'm just here to vote
And
on.
so, I guess the point is whether or not the prior employee was the project manager at that time. Probably, I would have to go back. It was Masha Ganu, so it was.
That was supervised by,
Yeah, okay.
so, what I want, what,
So it's Masha Ganu that was the project manager.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
There's other documents that, I mean, that has information with individuals' names on it that is related to Hanson. So I don't want to get into details of this. That's why I pulled it for clarity, so we can vote on it and I'll be clear.
Yes,
No.
sir.
We will
So-
do roll call, not just based on Commissioner Barnes' request,
I
but
have
we'll
a
do that. Go
question.
ahead, Commissioner.
Okay, so I have a question. So I hear some concerns about previous relationships and potential conflicts of interest with using Hanson. Is that, I guess I want to understand what I'm hearing. Using Hanson to do this work, is that no? Okay.
Well, I know, I think that is the
I'm trying to,
can't
I
speak
want to
for
be
Commissioner
clear.
Barnes. He has to speak for himself. I certainly won't do that.
That's what we're saying.
Well, again, I pulled it because I feel that it's a conflict of interest. And so that's why I pulled it. And it would take quite some time to explain all of the details, but there's a number of documents that you can look at that will kind of spell out everything. I don't have the time to, in the depth and the breadth to go through it right now, but that's why I pull the item so that I am clear of any conflict of interest that I know of.
if I may,
Yes. please.
I think we requested that there be no relationship between the former assistant city manager, project manager that left and actually hired on with Hanson, which was awarded the master consultant service agreement, which that could have been considered a conflict of interest because of how and when the contract was structured, okay? When we say we don't know, I mean, we're asking you because you're the subject matter expert. You should know. City manager should know. An attorney, you told us that you were going to make sure that there was going to be
There
a
is.
quote unquote firewall between them. But if the firewall was infiltrated prior, because the agreement had already been made. So I think that's the concern. I know that's the concern that Commissioner Bohm is bringing up. So these agreements have been made and you still reap benefits. Let's just say you reap benefits from agreements that was made from sitting in the seats when you made these when you signed these contracts. So rather with Marcia Grenou, who's a subordinate of the assistant city manager, we already seen how contracts in the past were done. So I just think it should be bought out, it should be clean, and everybody should know. And just like what Commissioner Davis and Commissioner Campbell saying, they want to know what we're talking about. I'm just saying from what I've read, Commissioner Bohm is talking from experience. So it's only fair that we bring it out and everybody do know before we vote on this. And I just find it hard to believe, I'm not calling you a lie, but it's hard to believe that you don't know who signed these agreements at that time. Because there's only two people during that time. Sorry.
Question for clarification. So, and I'm trying to understand here. If this does not pass, I guess my question is, do we then need to come up with an alternative? I mean, do we need to say this goes out to bid? I mean, I want to know what are our constraints? Oh, hold on a minute. I want to understand what are our constraints? I just don't understand because we have other agreements with this company, right, Hanson?
Yes.
Looks like this master agreement. So I just want to understand the consequence of if this does not pass. That's really what I want to understand.
Well, if it does not pass, the next steps is just to look for one of our other engineering on their continuing service agreement, and then ask them, for quotes on how much they will do this job, and then come back to the commission for approval.
And then
There's more going on.
There's more to it than that.
Much more.
Okay.
You know, given the fact that this was awarded back in 2022. And guess what else? We have 1 month almost to finish this, just 1 month. This is supposed to be completed by September 30th, 2025. We already have requested an extension because of the change in administration that took place, the fact that there was no one here dealing with grants. So we discovered this only 5, 6, 7 months ago. So we've done everything that we've done to bring it to an operative state now. So if we don't stay focused.
So thank you. I wanted to understand the consequences. That's what I was asking. Thank you. So it sounds like a consequence, we would lose this grant.
No, you asked for an extension, so how long is the extension?
We
Or-
haven't been awarded the extension.
yet. It's in.
When will
We
we
have
know?
not been awarded the extension because what they expect from us now is performance. And that is one of the major factors that they will be looking at and even considering an extension. So we cannot even begin to perform if we don't get this done. If we can't get the design, et cetera, this is one of the grants that we need to continue with trying to get this grant completed. This is $5 million. I'm sorry, I can't say what it is specifically. Is this the COVID sidewalk?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
So I think that being very honest and objective as a team that came in after whatever the administration did before we took over and started trying to do whatever we're doing. We have done all that we can do to protect the city at this point. I agree that that person was most likely very closely involved back in 2022, but we're not there now. Now we're at the point of losing $5 million. So everything that the commissioners are saying is valid. However, at the same time, it's more important that we continue improving the infrastructure of the city
At what cost?
at this cost right here. At the cost of knowing that we have a situation that we're dealing with that has been referred to the Commission of Ethics, that we have developed legal to protect the city from, interacting with that person. And if you give us a directive and say, we cannot work with Hanson anymore, fine, then we will start trying to do that. But at this moment, we're in a situation where we have only 1 month
Yeah,
to
and we will
show
also
progress.
No, we have other projects as well that Hanson's involved with. Anyway, we need a motion and we need to vote and go see what happens.
I move that we adopt resolution 2025-R-109.
Second.
The motion is second. Roll call, Madam Clerk, please.
Davis? Yay. Commissioner Campbell?
Yay.
Commissioner Jones?
Nay.
Commissioner Bora?
Nay.
Carrera?
Yay. Thank you. Motion passed. Commissioner Campbell?
So my question for the items that was pulled with reference to the lien reductions, does this follow the guidelines that were established with regards to lien reductions that we set?
Yes.
That's all I needed to know. I'll make a motion that we approve the lien reductions according to what is that?
L
L
through
through
S.
S.
A second.
The motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Do we want to take a recess or keep going? Okay. On to splash pad feasibility study.
Good evening again. I'll introduce to the engineers and the architects from Weston and Sampson. They're going to do a presentation about the splash pad, the feasibility studies and the study. So I'll say, just save the question for when they end, and then we can discuss the item. If you can please introduce yourself.
Yeah. All right, good evening, Chris Betancourt with Weston and Sampson. And my colleague Tim Hurley with me as well.
Can we not just click on the link?
I guess we're going to be taking a brief recess. No, you got it? We got it. Okay. No, that's not what it is.
Tried to get it earlier, but we are out of time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hall.
Let's see if it's. Where's the?
It's not gonna work because it's a PDF and not a PowerPoint.
Oh, okay, so I'll ask you to advance. Okay, so good evening.
Good evening.
I am Chris Betancourt. I am with Weston and Sampson. I'm a landscape architect. So we were asked to, hello,
Is the mic on?
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So, so we were asked to evaluate 4 sites for the possibility of a splash pad within the city of Palatka. We assessed the feasibility, the cost, additional infrastructure needs to support it. And we're providing recommendations based on existing conditions at each of the sites. Next, please. So the 4 sites that we were asked to investigate, there were 2 sites at Riverfront Park. There's 1 site at the Tillman House or adjacent to Tillman House, and 1 site at Booker Park. Next, please. So these were some of the factors that we considered in our analysis. The first is the presence of an existing restroom, because Florida Building Code requires restrooms within 200 feet of splash pad facilities, recreational water. Cost efficiency of the overall design, the accessibility and program adjacency that supports a splash pad, proximity to utilities, because you'd have to obviously connect to water and sewer, and also the impact on the community. Next, please. So the first site on Riverfront Park that we assessed is adjacent to the existing playground. It has a restroom, a public restroom, pretty close, within 200 feet. The utility connections are about 150 feet away in the existing easement. We considered how much fence you would need to add for a 1,000 square foot splash pad. So this particular site actually is unconstrained. It meets most of the requirements that we would need to design and provide a splash pad. Next, please. The second site, also in Riverfront Park, is located close to the existing memorial, so it's further to the north on the site. There are no existing public restrooms within 200 feet of that proposed site, so that adds an additional cost that you would have to consider. The utility connection is about 600 feet, so that's a lot more pipe, a lot more trenching, so that is a that's a cost consideration. Same fence length. So the constraints here are that you would have to build a restroom, and also this location being near an existing fountain and near the memorial may not be the best place because you have kind of competing uses. Next site, or sorry, next slide, please. The third site that we looked at is Booker Park. It has an existing restroom. It's adjacent to a playground, which is, an appropriate blend of uses within each other. There are utilities on site that are readily accessible within about 100 feet. Next. So Booker Park is a good site. Tillman House, there's no restroom that's available. And you're a little further away from the utilities, about 600 feet. And it's within a historic district, which means that there's additional steps in terms of trying to get it approved, because you would have to take it through the Historic Preservation Board. And then there are some potential brownfield issues with this site. Next. So this is the proposal from AquaWorks. This was indicated to us as being the preferred splash pad based on the quotes that the city had received from various vendors. We analyzed the costs that they gave us. They gave you a range from 1,000 square foot, from a 500 square foot splash pad up to a 2,000 square foot splash pad. We think that the costs are low. They're missing they're missing utility connections and the site work that would also be required in order to build the splash pad. So there are things that they just didn't consider. And they did label this as a high level cost estimate, but we feel that it's comparatively low to what you actually would have to spend. Next slide, please. So we did an analysis of each site. The cost ranges are here, that, you know, they're listed, but basically, on the low end, with the sites that already have restroom facilities that are available, that you know, obviously you don't have to build one, you get into about, you know, $675,000 in terms of your initial investment, all the way up to about 1.3 or 1.4 million if you have to build a restroom on the site. The other factor that you need to consider, obviously, is the annual operations cost, because you are paying a water bill, and that runs from about $60,000 to $80,000 a year. We got that number independently from the city of Stark, which has a similar splash pad, so costs are similar. Next, please. So, in terms of high-level recommendations, we feel that you should prioritize sites that already have existing restroom facilities, because it'll save you about $500,000. You should look at the sites that are closest to your utility connections, because that also will save you money, because it's less trenching and pipe that you have to run. Looking at sites that have the best visibility from like a safety standpoint, and consider the community's usage, and optimizing the cost by leveraging the existing infrastructure that's in place. Next, please. So our recommended sites would be the first site at Riverfront Park, because it meets all of the criteria that we've put forth as favorable. And next, please. And then Booker Park would also make a lot of sense if you decide to proceed with the project. Next slide. So, you know, as I said, those sites are recommended because you already have an existing restroom that you don't need to do any additional work to, which reduces the cost of the overall project. Next slide. In terms of cost efficiency, you're much closer to your utility runs. Next slide. The sites are compatible because they're sites that are based on play, so they're around playgrounds. So, you know, for example, if you're a parent and you have multiple children and one wants to play on the splash pad and one wants to play on the playground, it's easy to manage both of your children. Next. There is adequate infrastructure that's available within these two sites. Next. And they integrate nicely into the community, as I said, you know, basically because it's already a play area. Next. And I will open it up for questions.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Betancourt? No, I guess not.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
for
Thank
that
you.
Presentation, it was very.
Yeah, it was very nice. Thank you. We appreciate it. So you'd like some direction from the commission?
Well, our goal was to do our best to bring the information to the commissioners that was requested. And at least we could hopefully, it's not on the agenda to be voted on.
It's
not
under
on the
regular-
agenda,
it's under regular
it's an
business.
item. Regular business?
Yeah.
It is there?
If
Yeah.
I may,
Okay, good.
if I may, I think this may save us.
Okay.
I don't think this is a complete request of what it actually we requested. I appreciate the presentation. That's a portion of it, but I think we additionally asked for some information with regards to the maintenance. We asked questions with regards to the because Ms. Kitchens brought forth a lot of information with regards to the sanitation and how all of that, the use of it and kind of things of that nature. So we wanted a more comprehensive, not necessarily just the best location, but some additional information with regards to this particular project.
There was some mention of the estimated
I think it was
maintenance.
50, 60 to 80,000 or something
When
like that.
when I mean the maintenance, I'm talking more specifically about
Let
the
me call this.
manpower,
Okay,
the
okay, the
manpower,
labor costs, the labor cost.
the labor, yes.
Yes. We did do that.
Commissioner-
study. You
Mr.
want to give more information, Joe? on
Mr.
that?
Verrecchio, if you would like to come up, please.
Please.
I actually thought they were gonna include that information in their report.
We did.
As far as the maintenance report, yeah, I don't have those numbers in front of me currently.
Well, we did a lot.
I have a question. I have,
We did, sir. Yes, sir.
Well,
I did. I talked about the maintenance.
may I ask a question? I do want
Yes,
to
ma'am.
interrupt intentionally. I want to understand because this is a project that we're considering. So my question is to Ms. Carter, so why is Mr. Ricchio answering?
Because he's answering the part that he actually conducted the work on. He really did extensive.
No, yeah. I guess I'm
investigation.
trying to understand project versus an existing city event. And I just wondered, did this not fall under project management?
Yes, it does fall under
Okay.
project management.
So-
Carlos was also aware of the information, I believe, after Mr. Joe completed it.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay. We don't have to go here. Where I'm going is if we're using city staff to do this presentation versus giving input to the project manager. It just seems to me it belongs with the project manager because it's not something we're already doing.
Okay,
I might be splitting hairs, but
all right. Now, the real concern I have here though is that we did all of that work.
Yeah, we did last time we presented the cost of the maintenance of getting the people, the pool people to come in, clean it. It has to be checked twice a day, pH levels, and then discussion of having personnel on site to open and run the place all day would require additional staff. Yes, we did have that conversation, but I don't have that.
And I thought we did put it in last time, but we didn't bring it in with this one.
No.
And I just want to mention, just because it was mentioned to me by somebody at the chamber involved with the Bassmaster Elite tournaments, and I guess prior to them coming here, they measure out the whole Riverfront Park and they have a certain minimum requirement. And I guess the last tournament, we were like very close to going below their minimum requirement by a very small amount. And that chamber, I'm just again saying the person from the chamber mentioned this in light of if you put a splash pad, that's again a certain amount of space not available for this tournament or for other tournaments. It takes out some space again, and that was just a concern. So I'm just relaying it from what the chamber said, somebody from the chamber said, that they had that concern about losing additional space at the riverfront for fisherman tournaments.
so may I ask, so we can safely assume that, do you remember, Joe, if a person, was it recommended that there is a FTE or part-time person who will manage this?
Yes, that's
So
correct.
that's an additional cost.
Yes, ma'am.
Plus making sure, as was mentioned with the sanitizing and following, that
pH
person will be
balances and all
responsible
that.
for doing all that.
Yes, ma'am.
And were those numbers included in that 60 to 80,000, that part of it, except for the FTE, or is that in addition? Do
That's
you
an
know?
addition.
It's
Okay,
the
thank you.
additional.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Is
you.
that in your budget that's being presented to us?
Not yet. A portion was, I want big, but we still was kind of waiting to see what your decision would be, but I did include a portion that we understood at that time.
And it would have to be a full FTE. It couldn't
would
be-
have
it'd
to
have
be
to
a
be two
full
part-timers
FTE.
to cover days off,
That's
because we're talking every day.
And those persons would have to be certified, correct?
That is absolutely correct. They would need to be trained. Yes, sir.
Lifeguard,
Yes, ma'am.
remember?
Yep.
Mhm. And commissioners, I apologize. I'll make sure we send that to you. We did do extensive work.
Is there any further questions or comments on this topic? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So we're leaving this with requiring additional information. How we,
Comments?
yes, I'm going to do that in a second. Okay, no, Miss Kitchens? I'll let Miss Kitchens come up then. Okay.
Legally Kitchens, Palatka, Florida. Yes, there are many hazards with with the splash pad. I won't go into them fully, but diarrhea, hepatitis, I mostly found out after my last presentation, the brain-eating amoeba has gotten 3 kids and killed them in the United States. The splash pads are regulated by the state of Florida. There's probably between 12 and 18 rules that say you have to do this. Same rules for a swimming pool. You must, as Mr. Vecchio said, every 2 to 4 hours, you must check the pH in the splash pad in the water. You have to keep it cleaned on a regular basis. You have to have it maintained on a regular basis. Now, I'm not talking about once a year. We're talking about several times a day. Parents, there's rules have to be posted. Parents have to watch their children. The children have to have swim shoes. They've got to have rubber to cover up their diapers. Lots of rules in the state of Florida says you got to do it, and you got to get a permit from them before you can even do it. However, the splash pad at the riverfront will affect or stop our fishing tournaments, including the BASS, the bass tournament. And if you do the Tillman parking lot, the bass tournament is gone. I spoke to Dana Jones before I came here. I wanted to get some information. One 2-day fishing tournament brings in $2 million to the city of Palatka. 1 2-day tournament. We have 8 or 9 tournaments here. One brings in $2 million. So don't anybody up there tell me that fishing tournaments don't help Palatka. They help Putnam County a lot and they help Palatka a lot. So we don't want to get rid of our fishing tournaments. And yes, BAS has measured. They've got exactly what they need. If they lose any space, they lost it. However, as to the location, it looks like y'all are bound and determined to have the splash pad come anything. However, then you look at the location. The parking lot, the grassy area, if you put it there, the mug races are gone and the bass tournament's gone. But there's something that these folks missed. Those are not public restrooms in the Mary Lawson Marina. They are private. You've heard people complain at the events and everything else. Those restrooms are locked and they're private, and that's by the contract. They are not public. So they'd have to build separate restrooms down there. Also, the Vertrees sawmill was down there in the 1800s, right in that spot, and then close to it was the train depot, where the trains fueled and loaded. So that could be a possible brownfield. Then, and the cost on that is not, well, it's horrible in my idea, $675,000. Booker Park is $675,000. If you go to the Tillman House, which is unacceptable, or you go to by the Submarine Memorial, that's over $1 million. Y'all don't have money to help people, but you got $1 million for recreation? No. If you're going to do it, and I think you're going to, Booker Park is a logical location. The price is $675,000. All the amenities are there. There are no restroom public facilities beside the Mary Lawson Marina. You cannot use the restrooms in that marina. They're specifically private for the users of the boats that come up. So you need to know that. You also need to know that if you actually decide on the riverfront, regardless of anything else, or the Tillman House, you are going to lose the fishing tournaments, and they are important. So if you're going to do it, put it at Booker Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Duke.
Vicky Duke, Palatka, Florida. My concern, a lot of it deals with exactly what Ms. Kitchen has been saying. I believe that money could be invested in some of the other playgrounds in the city and expand where children and handicap type playground equipment that is needed here would be a wiser use of that money versus a splash pad because of the expense involved in putting in this and running it and the maintenance to it. I was surprised when the Triangle Park playground was rebuilt as to the millions it was going to take to put in the new playground, and they said it was only good for 20 years. Playground equipment has to be replaced every 20 years. And so to also add something that's this expensive, I just think it's a bad idea.
Thank you. Is there anybody else here for public comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Are we ready to move on, or what do we want to do here? It's up to you. Okay. Okay, we'll move on. On to public hearings. Second reading, ordinance 2025-23.
We just get a little clarification on this last item, please. Are we to put this on the next agenda with additional information on the maintenance costs? Is
That's
that
what I was
the
asking.
direction?
Yes, please.
Do we want to
That's all I
vote?
need.
Well, let me just say, for me, I don't need additional information. I know that whatever additional FTE and the additional items that you guys talked about is additional money. So that was enough for me, but
No, the reason I made the statement is because we asked for a comprehensive, and that's not what was presented, but also taking in consideration with regards to the restroom at the Boathouse Marina. Does that make a difference?
I thought there was public access.
It's not accurate. There are.
I wanted to make it
Just to
clear.
clarify, there are private bathroom facilities with laundry and shower. Those are for the people that have docked for overnight facilities at the Plaquemine Boathouse Marina, but there are public restrooms available.
Yeah, they're not too.
Not
Okay.
24/7, but they are available.
I just wanted to make that clear.
But they're accessible during the daytime. The
Yes.
building is unlocked for use for those public restrooms versus the private for the ships, boat folks. Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
So what you want? Mayor?
No, I didn't say, I
Oh,
just said
that's it.
what we requested was not
We-
presented. I didn't
No.
say I wanted the additional information. I just wanted to put that out there when we talk about what we desire. If y'all want to move
Right.
forward, we can move forward. They asking for direction. I'm just one person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can.
So I'm saying that there is a request for direction and that is only fair. So I guess we have to determine what our direction as a commission is to move forward.
Yes, because just as, and maybe I'm wrong, I just want direction at the end of the day, because tomorrow I'm the one that needs to execute whatever you guys are saying. So my understanding in the past, in the last commissioner meeting, I remember Commissioner Davis asking about operational costs, the different costs between each location, all that stuff. I remember Commissioner Campbell saying that we cannot even make a decision because we don't know if we're doing the splash pad because of the cost. Maybe we're not moving forward with the splash pad based on the cost. So I tried to cover everything. So I was, maybe I'm wrong again. I was expecting, honestly, like, okay, we have the locations. This is the price for each location. Okay, let's move forward with location number 1 per the recommendation of them. Or, oh, it's too expensive. Let's not do the splash pad. That's what I was expecting, honestly.
So we would have to give them the additional information.
No, I think we know that it's gonna cost more, that there are additional
Yes, we
expenses
do
like
know that.
labor. We know that.
So
I will say this, the reason I'm not making a motion, because there's a negative motion is not a good motion. So I have no pleasure to move forward, which is why I'm not making, I'm just stating it. So if someone has a pleasure, we need a pleasure.
Does anybody want to make a motion as to provide direction as to how to move forward or not?
Here we go. I make a motion that we move forward with the plan that the entire commission can live with as far as location 1 or location 2. Being that information have come forward in reference to revenue could be lost as far as the bass fishing tournaments and other tournaments. I wouldn't want to see the city losing any revenue. However, I still believe that for recreation purposes, the splash pad would be a great idea in addition to the other parks that we have. So I make a motion to move forward with the splash pad at location 2, which we'll concede to be Booker Park.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Davis,
No.
Commissioner Campbell,
Yeah.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Mayor Guerra,
Nay. So it's passed unanimously to move forward with Booker Park location. On to public hearings. Second reading ordinance 2025-23, and it's for parcel number 1210-2608-2000100030 located at 2405 President Street.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, if you remember, you passed this on the first reading. Basically, this is an existing residential dwelling unit that had a commercial use. The request is for rezoning to a residential. The applicant is here if you have any questions.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there anybody here for public comment on this item? Seeing none, we close public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Second reading ordinance number 2025-25, parcel number 4210-2768-50-1460-0083.
Again, this is an item that, excuse me, the commission approved on fair reading. This is a city-owned parcel that we're changing the designation, the zoning from R3 to conservation, given the environmental importance, to the area.
Motion to approve.
And it also is ordinance number 2025-27, ordinance number 2025-29. Can we do them collectively? The motion.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is anybody here for public comment on this second reading? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Second reading, Kelly Smith School annexation and rezoning 1610-26000002400013.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, the applicant has requested a postponement for this item to continue to the next meeting, September 10th.
I'll make a motion that what's the proper term that we need to use? Continue this to our September 10th meeting.
Second.
The motion and second, Commissioner Borum, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Second reading, annex and zoning for parcel number 1610-26000002000000.
Sound like Sunny.
This is also an application by the school board on this parcel, and is for annexation. They already approved that, and this is the second reading for the rezoning. The applicant is here, representative from the applicant is here, in case you have any questions on it.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is anybody here for public comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. All in favor? Oh, sorry, go ahead. Discussion.
There was a question in reference to conflict some time ago, and then it was asked about this was a school district is the owner of these parcels.
They have a contract on this parcel.
They have a contract on these parcels.
Yes.
And I just wanted for clarity, because I want to make a point of clarity, that the attorney at one point, there was a issue came up with my brother-in-law on an event that he was having. Had nothing to do with me. I had nothing to do with the event. But you said that because I could possibly gain in some kind of fashion, rather monetarily, favor, or what have you, that I should refrain from voting. We have 2 school district employees on a matter like this. So where does that line? Is that line blurry? Is that line clear, or what? You asked it, but I wanted to bring back the point that it happened to me, just as clear. So I want you to make a rule and just say, why is this not a conflict, and I had a conflict.
Ms. West?
Sure. So Florida statutes require that you recuse yourself from voting if you have either a direct or indirect pecuniary gain on one of the items on the agenda. If, excuse me, if I recall correctly, there was an allegation from a member of the public that you would have an indirect pecuniary gain from voting on that item. In an attempt to avoid an appearance of impropriety, it was recommended that you recuse yourself from voting on that item.
Yeah, so,
She got,
so again, I need that way. Thank you. So, so again, you know, I think the mayor is she always says, shun the appearance of something like that. So with the appearance is actual and factual. These are employees of the Putnam County School District. And I just wanted to make sure that the line is actually clear, not what somebody on the outside said or speculated, because they were really off. But this is facts, what I just brought up.
There have been attorney general opinions issued. It has been a while since I've looked at this, that employees of an agency that would not gain directly or indirectly merely by being virtue of employees of that agency may vote on a matter. I can research that attorney general opinion. I don't have it in front of me right now, but that has been ruled by the attorney general.
Yeah.
And we
It-
did, this is the second reading.
It is, but I want to bring
And
it
I
up.
sat through a class with the Florida League of Cities that clearly identified, hence the reason why I brought it up in complete transparency at the last meeting, and I received my answer. So I feel confident in the answer that was received in the academic, that what I went through, that my vote, I can vote
Commissioner Borman?
and I will vote.
No, sir.
and, you know, I concur with the same thing. I mean, we learned that through our ethics training. Anyway, it clearly states that if you're not a direct beneficiary of anything that you're voting on, you're not in conflict. So I'm very aware of that. And if it was, I would recuse myself of voting.
Right. So I just want to make it clear going forward, there's no what someone in the just arbitrarily tell you that you could go by and go, well, Mr. Jones, because someone said that you may benefit, that you should recuse yourself.
Why was this conversation I had at the last?
Because I forgot, and I brought it up today because it's time for me to bring it up. That's exactly why. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. Second reading, Moody Road annexation and zoning for parcel number 02-1026000004200000.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, the applicant is here. In case you have any question, nothing has happened since between the first reading and this hearing tonight. The recommendation is still for approval, the annexation and the rezoning.
Motion to approve.
A motion and second. Is anybody here for public comment on this item? Staying now, we close public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. First reading, Airport Chapter 7. And on to the City of Palaca, Florida, establishing Chapter 7 of the Municipal Code of the City of Palaca, Florida, pertaining to the airport, establishing the jurisdictional and territorial limits, rules, and regulations in the Airport Advisory Board, providing for severability. I have trouble with that.
Severability.
I know. An effective date and Scrivener's errors.
So moved. Oh, no, you gotta read it. You gotta read it first. Sorry.
You seconded? I didn't hear it. I'm so sorry. Is there anybody here for public comment on this item? Seeing none, we close public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. First reading, annexation, future land use map, rezone 2409 president, parcel number 1210-2608-2000100050.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, this ordinance, the three ordinances are related to the same property. It's a request for annexation of approximately 0.67 acres. happens to be right next door to them. You just approved the rezoning for the commercial to residential. This application is almost the same. They're asking to be annexed to the city and to get the zoning designation of R1, residential 1. Has been reviewed by the planning board August 5th with a recommendation of approval. Staff also recommends approval. It meets all the requirements of Florida Statute 177 for annexation. It meets the standard for comprehensive plan amendment and also meets the criteria for the rezoning.
Is the,
And staff recommendation for approval of the 3 items if you want to take it
okay,
together.
and is the applicant present? Does anybody?
The
have any-
applicant is representative of the applicant is
Thank
here.
you. Does anybody have any questions? Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Is there anybody here for public comment? Seeing none, close public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. On to first reading annexation, future land use map rezone 2706 Cecil Ave. Ordinance number 2543, 2544, and 2025-45. Mr. Algar.
This is the same. The 3 ordinances in front of you are related to the same property. It's a vacant parcel of land. They're trying to annex into the city in order to get water and sewer services. It has been reviewed by the planning board August 5th with a recommendation of approval for those 3 ordinances. Staff also recommends approval because it meets all the criteria for annexation. It also meets the requirement for the future land use amendment and also the criteria for rezoning. And the staff also recommends approval on first reading.
Does anybody have any questions? Commissioner Campbell has left the room, so. Should I wait for him to come back, Mrs. West?
He would have to vote. He still have to vote if he.
I know we still have to vote, and that we haven't even had a motion
I
yet.
said he would still have to vote.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay, he's back. Do we have a motion?
Again,
Yes.
okay,
You made a motion? Yeah.
yes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there anybody here for public comment on this last item? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
We're on to commissioner comments.
I-
Do we have any comments?
I have one quick one, and I'm not sure, Chief Shaw in the city. I've been approached several times with regards to lighting at St. John's and Kaylarkin Drive. I'm not sure if that falls within the city or the county. The concern is, that is a bus stop for our youth, and in the mornings, it's completely dark in those areas. So actually, one of the people who came before me is the bus driver, and she talked about how she has to maneuver in the road to protect the students as they are getting on the bus. And that in itself is a safety concern based on the fact of how she has to maneuver, but more specifically lighting.
Chief Shaw.
Just speaking with Assistant Chief, we'll make sure that we get with Clay and address that issue, see if we can get that taken care of immediately. If that is something that's lacking lighting or one of the lighting is out, I'm sure that the maintenance will get it done. It's not something that we need to go ahead and upgrade. It's something that's again, what we discussed in our project as additional. But we'll definitely get some feedback on it and have a report back for you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can you confirm the location?
It's on St.
Kaylarkin
John's
and
and
St.
Kaylarkin
John's.
Drive.
And
Okay,
I just confirmed it is in the city's jurisdiction.
Just, thank you. Anything else? Commissioner Jones, any comments? Commissioner Bora, any comments?
I'm done. I want to thank the staff for all their hard work, everything that they've done. But I just got a comment after this, but thank everybody for the hard work that they did for this meeting. We got a lot of work done and looking forward to the next meeting, but I got a distraction here I gotta kind of address after this meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner. Davis.
Same. Thank everyone for your hard work. I want to say to our technicians over there, I've been getting great text messages tonight and they said it's a 9+. So thank you for the quick adjustment. It's very noticeable and thank you guys for all your hard work, even through not feeling well and so much going on. But thank you guys and have a good long weekend.
Yes, everybody enjoy the holiday weekend and remember why we have a Labor Day and what we're celebrating, but thank you, everybody. And any further comments? With that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you all. See you.